all the goods that they were manufacturing at that time, and it proved to be quite a success at that time. It's no longer used commercially now because larger ships can't get up as far as Manchester. It's only used now for leisure and that sort of thing. But the Manchester Ship Canal is a very interesting canal because if you take the leisure trips from Salford Village up to Liverpool, it's full of interest. See the Ashton Memorial? That's known as the Folly in the Park, and that was built with money provided by William Lord Ashton, and he was an industrialist, a wealthy industrialist, and when he died, he and his wife left all their money to the University of Lancaster for educational purposes. This is all part of the original part of the university to the left. That building there formerly was a lunatic asylum. That memorial cost £80,000 to build, which is about £7 million in today's money, and local people call it the Taj Mahal of the North.
Welcome to the Cumbria Grand Hotel in Grange Over Sands. This very lovely building dating from about 1880.
Sadly, one unfortunate downside being parking cars right underneath the single room windows.
But it's sort of settled on a hillside above Morecambe Bay, and as you can see, there's some lovely gardens surrounding it and some lovely cars. But there's a lovely set of gardens that side.
I'll be back here next year for a tour of the Lake District, so more then.
Mm-hmm. That was a bit of view.
The rain averages 4 times more than in London, so you can imagine it rains quite a lot up here. We're lucky to see it like that, even though it dramatically has got cloud on top. These are the highest mountains in England. They call them fells, of course, up here. They don't call them mountains. As from time to time you can see on the side of the road here, on the edge road, you can see this red plant which is growing quite vigorously this time of year. And this, those are lupins there, aren't they? Those are lupins. Onto the sides of the railway tracks. Burn the grass off. The first thing to grow after that would be the fireweed, and that's why they call it the fireweed. First thing to grow after there's originally been a fire. After the Second World War, a lot of the burnt out buildings in London, once again, first thing to grow when they regenerated was the fireweed or the rose bay willow herb. going across here, look, you can see it to the left and right, the river. This is the River Eden. A lot of people believe that this is the natural border between England and Scotland, but of course it's not. There's another 10 miles to go to the border, but that's the River Eden, the main river that flows through Carlisle, and it's just
A few miles to the Solway Firth that you can see in the distance there.
river here, which is the natural border, and you'll see the Scottish border sign on the left. Yeah, go around here. And one of the old blacksmith shops just on the right here, where they used to perform the marriages. This is the border just here. See it coming up. Scotland welcomes you. There's one of the old blacksmiths, but the Gretna hole is a little bit further on.
Oh, if you
That's one of the first things you see in Moffat. What a lovely church. Some intricate detail up there. Look at that. Beautiful. Very, very nice. The churches. Now that is quite a
Gothic church.
quite a beautiful design. A lot better view there.
even if the clock is 3.5 to 4 hours past. Mine could be local time.
Half star and top.
That is absolutely magnificent. See the things I do for you viewers. Well, I'm now in Moffat itself, and the Buccleuch Arms is the clue to one of the largest estates in the area, the Buccleuch estate. Suppliers of fine meats, etc. to the trade. Lovely wide avenue here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Look at that. A lovely building there. And a memorial of some kind. I don't quite know what it is. Street furniture in the way. About it. But, it's a war memorial. I like to seek out the unusual.
Yeah.
When I go to places.
On the roof up there.
Oh yeah, thanks for showing. See, that's the kind of thing. Let's zoom in. I don't know what he's doing up there. From a distance it looks positively rude. but it's not. It's just I think there's some fitment. Oh, it's gone blurred. I wish it wouldn't do that. There we go. See if I can get in more slowly. It's like a bear.
How can a thistle look like a bear? There's no hope for me.
I have to conserve a bit of battery strength today, so this will be all I can really take of Moffat. So I notice just up the road over there the other side of the bus stops is the town hall. Let's walk up here. Chemist and druggist. You don't see that name very often. And an awning. Balmoral Hotel. And there's the town hall, and you can see where the hills are behind the town. Typical small Scottish town. Very nice, very pleasant, and very friendly.
Too late in the hotel. We'll probably be there about 6:30. Don't have to worry about a quick dinner because we've arranged for a later dinner tonight, because we won't be arriving all that early. So, but if we can sort of leave about 2:30, 2:25, and crack on. Does anybody want dropping off in the lower part of the town?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay. Well, I'll drop you off outside the Corn Exchange, and you'll be picked up on the other side of the road when we come back down. If you wanted the Wetherspoons, immediately where I drop you off there's the Wetherspoons. But you can see quite a lot of the streets here are pedestrianised, so it's quite a pleasant town, and they've got a Marks and Spencer's there. Look. And look at some of the buildings, look, all fully intact, and really Victorian, sort of Edwardian buildings which are still fairly well intact. Look at the amount of chimney pots on that one ahead of us by the Marks and Spencer's. Well, the reason for this, of course, you know, places like Stirling, they suffered very little during the Second World War, and the enemy and the Nazis, the Luftwaffe, were targeting places like Motherwell, the industrial areas, and Glasgow and the shipyards. They didn't waste bombs on towns when they could be bombing the armaments and the shipyards. So these places like Stirling, they were very, very little damage during the war, so consequently we've still got and retained the original architecture, which is nice. Same for the industrial areas of Glasgow and Motherwell, but of course a bit of an advantage for Stirling.
Now, we knew Stirling Castle would be closed to the public, but we also knew that the car park would be open. So up we went, to be met by a Jobsworth on the gate. No coaches, no coaches. Well, can't we just sit over there? No coaches, due to COVID. Well, what about all the cars? They're cars, not coaches. Can't we just stop for 20 seconds, take some photographs? No, please leave. So this is all you see of the castle. Sorry.
Very sorry about that.
William Wallace. Blimey. That's a clock tower and a half, that is. Goes all the way up there. Wow. Very stark architecture, isn't it, in many ways? And we're standing here alongside part of the old city wall in Stirling, looking up at yet another interesting building. There's such a lot round here, but still this very austere fashion which seems to fit in. Let's have another look. There. With this image of the Scots being very dour, serious people.
Further on towards the north.
There are mountains in the distance, looking towards the Highlands. Not easy on a coach.
It was first recognised as the thistle, the emblem of Scotland, when invaders tried to invade the castle by climbing up the garden walls to try and get up the walls of the castle, and the barefooted soldiers they trod on the thistles, and of course they let out great screams of pains, and this alerted the armoury in the castle to be aware that they're approaching and repel the attack. So there is one theory that that is how the thistle became the emblem of Scotland, but it's not absolutely sure. Here for a short, can I ask for your consideration just to stop here for a short break? We have lost quite a bit of time through those roadworks, and we're a little behind now, and we need to crack on. There's still a good way to go. We don't want to get to the hotel too late because they close at 11. So we just like you to just jump off the coach here, have the use the toilets, and stretch the legs, and then jump back on the coach, and we'll carry on and get you to the hotel in a reasonable time. It's still a couple of hours from here. What time is it now? 4 o'clock, so that's going to be 6:30. You don't have dinner till 7:30, so it's not sort of rushed down for dinner. And we can just be quick toilet stop here and stretch your legs, and then somebody fishing in there, look for salmon. This is the River Tummel. This is the Tummel River Tummel, good salmon river. There's also a hydroelectric scheme on the Tummel here, and famous fish. But there's not much flower there, but I did see quite a bit of flower on this centre reservation just earlier on, because there's 1,000 different types of heather, and it comes out at different times. So this is probably the early showing of heather we can see. The more common heather you can see, which is on these hills to the left, which is called the ling. This is the last of the heathers to come out, and this comes out about August, September, and when that comes out, that is absolutely marvellous display of colour. The ling, as we can see on the hills to the left here. Notice how the scenery is changing drastically. We've left now the Perthshire soft countryside. We're heading up now to the rugged and mountainous regions. Just here on the left hand side you can see the railway line. Now this is the railway line between Edinburgh and Inverness. It's regarded as one of the most beautiful railway lines in the world. And those of you who are watching TV the night before we came away, there was a programme on TV called The Most Beautiful Railway Lines in the World, and this is featured on this line from Edinburgh to Inverness. All along this road was featured, showing you shots of the railway line and passes the towns and villages it passes through. It's a lovely programme, and when you get back home, if you can still get it back on feedback, you know, on your playback thing, look for it on channel 5, and it will be on the 8th of July on channel 5. Lovely programme it was. Coming along this road, I can see, if you look on the right hand side, you can see sort of something that resembles a blade of grass, and on top of the blade of grass you can see a white bob. We can see some more just along here, and probably see some in a minute. There's some on the left there, can you see it? And there's some more coming up. Well, you'll see it anyway, a little white bob on the end of a blade of grass. That's what it's called, actually, cotton grass. It's called cotton grass. And in the old days, the elderly women of the family, they used to come along here and pick the cotton grass and weave it into cotton. It is actually made cotton with it. Rather a crude version, but they used to weave the cotton out of the cotton grass.
lemonade or honey. Do you want a straw or a cup? Best with a straw.
Well, we're seeing Inverness in the distance now. We've actually got to Inverness, the county town of Inverness, and well, you can see the Kessock Bridge ahead of us. Those of you can see through the front, which takes us across the Moray Firth. We'll be going across the Kessock Bridge soon. We won't be going into Inverness tonight. We'll be bypassing it because we are coming back to Inverness later in the tour.
And that is Loch Ness.
No, it's not. It's the Bewley Firth.
You probably noticed that all these villages, these bridges that you see, we don't have to stop for tolls on any of these bridges. There are no tolls on any other bridges in Scotland. This is under the instruction of Nicola. All tolls have been abolished on the bridges, and all tolls have been abolished on tunnels.
Yeah.
The tunnels in and around Glasgow used to have toll fees, but they've all been abolished by Nicola. And of course, in other areas too, she's abolished all national health care, expensive national health care, prescriptions are free.
And this is the Ben Wyvers Hotel, and there is our trusty steed being cleaned out ready for tomorrow up in the bushes. Pretty grand sort of place really. But, I'm going to take a walk back up there through the gardens. There's some of those rather peppery smelling plants around, that, you know, the type that's not very pleasant. But they've got some trees in this place. And I suppose at Christmas time it's quite nice because you've got all these little LED light things wrapped around and through the trees, so I should imagine it's quite mystical at that time of year. But it's more shady walking underneath here, but this has obviously got to be. I've no idea what it is, whether it's Scots pine, Douglas fir, whatever, but I'm going to pan up because this really is a most magnificent specimen. And it just keeps going up and up and up. Look at that. Scotland is full of surprises. Those of you that have been there, you know what I mean. But I've never been here before, so it's quite a voyage of discovery for me. I mean, look, I'm up right underneath this one now, and it's separated into two trunks. Can you see that? Wow. And then there's yet another one on the other side. And this one is split. There's sort of 3-4 trunks here. Trunks? Look at that. This has got to be one of the most spectacular trees I've seen. Absolutely amazing. Right. And we move on out into the rain again. And there's the hotel. It's now come out from round here. And there it is. Hang on a second.